Thank you very much, you guys. I saw the thumbs up from Jeff, so I'm going. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call David Barnes to do our invocation, please.
Dear Father, first we just want to declare we are
So grateful and thankful for your grace and your mercy. God, we declare that you are good. And tonight we come before you just asking for your discernment, your wisdom, your guidance in making decisions for this community. Father, I lift up these servants to you that come before you looking for your wisdom, asking for your wisdom, and pray that their decision making is one of kindness, compassion, but also truth. And so, Father, we just look to you for guidance. And Father, we pray for this community as you've done some amazing, amazing things. So we praise you for that. And we believe that you'll continue to guide and to direct this community, keep it safe. And God, we just want to be thankful tonight, thankful and grateful for all that you've done and all that you'll continue to do. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Alfers?
You gotta wait till it turns red.
Alfers?
Here. No, it's not red yet. I'm here though.
I can see that you're here.
Oh, it's mad at me now.
You look to be here.
You've really got it, Matt, now.
You broke it. You got a battery, huh?
Evers?
Here.
Hochstetter?
Here.
Kenna?
Here.
Malcolm?
Here.
Ranky?
Here.
Wilsey?
Here.
All members are present.
Thank you. So we've got a proclamation, 2026 Arbor Day proclamation. So I'd like to call on Derek Berry, Assistant Public Operations Director.
Thank you for having me here tonight, Mayor and Council. Today, we are going to be doing this proclamation, as the Mayor mentioned, recognizing Arbor Day and celebrating the Tree City designation. Whereas the City of Sumner's Forestry and Parks Commission promotes the responsible planting and maintenance of trees on public and private property, and whereas the citizens of Sumner highly value their environmental quality and promote the planting of trees as well as enhanced park system, and whereas the City of Sumner recognizes that trees reduce air pollution, improve aesthetic value, provide shelter from wind and rain, provide animal and bird habitat, reduce noise pollution, save energy, enhance property values, and provide privacy. And whereas the planting of trees promotes community pride and enhances the character of the city and its neighborhoods. And whereas Arbor Day is a nationally recognized celebration of trees and tree planting. And whereas Sumner is celebrating its 32nd year as a tree city as designated by the National Arbor Day Foundation. Therefore, be it resolved that the City of Sumner proclaims April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day and requests that all citizens join us and celebrate our trees, our parks, and our continued commitment to environmental stewardship. Some background is last Saturday we did our Arbor Day planting on Cherry Avenue and Willow Street. We planted, I believe, 31 trees. We're going to be planting 2 more. There were some complications on where someone wanted the trees, but they are making an immediate impact on those 2 streets. So if you have a moment to go take a look, it's fantastic. Any questions? No? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Item number 1, approval of Councilmember Malcolm appointment to the Finance and Personnel Committee. Item number 2, confirming the mayor appointment of Andy McCurdy as Chief of Police and approving of the related employment contract agreement. Item number 3, approval of an employment agreement with Ryan Johnstone as the Public Operations Department Director. Item number 4, Washington Street Preservation Project Construction Contract Award. Item 5, Washington Street Preservation Project Construction Management Consultant Contract Award. Item 6, Washington Street Preservation Project Design Consultant Amendment Approval. Item 7, 2026 Pavement Chip Seal Application Construction Contract Award. Item 8, Operations Facility Approval of Avadex Contract. Item 9, Approval of checks and electronic payments in the amount of $7,884,181.19. Item 10, Operations Facility Furniture Purchase, Blue Space Interiors.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Elfers, would you please make a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the consent agenda for April 20th, 2026.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Kenna. It has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Would any council member wish to remove an item? All right, thank you. So,
Mayor, would you call for a vote, please?
yes, I am. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. So we will now move on to our public hearing. So we have a public hearing tonight. This is ordinance number 2966, vacation of 63rd Street East and a PPW portion of State Street. So I'd like to open the public hearing at 6:06 p.m. I'd like to call on Deputy City Attorney Doug Ruth.
You gotta come all the way around.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, it's online. I was like, where is it?
Well,
Maybe it's Andrea tonight.
is he online? Well, we'll just
Mayor, I
wait.
apologize. Why don't we take a 3-minute recess?
Okay, thank you. 3-minute recess at 6:07. Thank you.
Recess will probably be longer than my presentation, unfortunately.
What's that?
11 wins.
PM. Thank you. Deputy City Attorney Doug Ruth.
Yes, I apologize for the delay. So the proposed ordinance and the public hearing for tonight regards a vacation of a right-of-way. To remind the council, vacation of right-of-way is a statutory process where the city removes a right-of-way from their inventory and turns it over to the adjacent property owners. This one is a little bit unusual because we're turning it over to ourselves. The right-of-way happens to be, as you can see from the picture on the screen, right in front of the wastewater treatment facility. So it'll go from being a right-of-way to being part of the general inventory of the city property, in this case, the wastewater treatment facility inventory. And you can see there that it regards 63rd Street East, which does not continue on past 410, so we're vacating the whole totality of that road there and a little bit of State Street. But of course, that's not before the council tonight. That'll be a future meeting. Tonight's just a public hearing when the public can comment on that change. So let's see more of the pictures here. There we go. And so this will show you a more microscopic view of it. I drew this, so it's not exact. So let's just go on to the more exact picture, and there you go, and you can see the important points probably for here, the informative points are that it's 60 feet wide, and it doesn't show it there, but it's about 500 feet long, so that works out to be about 3/4 of an acre that will be vacated. And this picture shows you the utilities that are underneath there, water lines, some lights. In this case, we don't need to require an easement because, again, it's just moving it from one sector of city property to another sector. We will have to sort out kind of behind the scenes to give any PSE easements, well, they have it as a franchise right now, any rights there, and it'll have to become an easement, but that can be sorted out behind the scenes if the council goes forth with the vacation. And this will give you a little visual awareness of the reason why. You can see the red circles show security fences that currently exist, and the blue circle or oval shows where they would like to put a security fence to consolidate. Why have 3 fences when we can just have 1 security fence at the opening? But to do that, it's best to vacate the road. It's not really appropriate to limit public access to a public road. You can get around that if you have a certain reason, but vacating it simplifies that process. Also, it's easier with improvements to the wastewater treatment facility that they don't have to go through the permitting process for right-of-ways. It's treated differently than just having normal or fee property. It's a simpler process when you have fee property. So it simplifies any kind of expansion or the security changes. And with that, I'm open for questions. Seeing none, I will turn it back over to the mayor.
Okay, thank you. Anyone wish to make a comment on Zoom? Is there anyone? Okay, thank you. Michelle, has anyone signed up to make comments, or is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this item?
No, Mayor, there are no comment or no signups for this item.
Okay, then I will close the public hearing at 6:12 p.m. Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to regular business. So unfinished business, resolution number 1744-2027-2032, 6-year transportation improvement program annual update. Councilmember Kenna, would you like to make a motion? Thank you.
All right, yes, Mayor, I would like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 1744, 2027 to 2032, 6-year transportation improvement program annual update.
Thank you. Can I get a second, please? You're gone. Where'd you go?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Andy. Or Deputy Mayor Elfers. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Elfers, ma'am. So it's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 1744-2027-2023, 6-year transportation improvement program annual update. I'd like to call on Courtney Luttrell, Assistant Engineering Manager.
Good evening, Mayor Bowman and council members. My name is Courtney Luttrell, Assistant Engineering Manager. The item in front of you is Resolution 1744 for the 2027 to 2032 6-year transportation improvement plan update, also referred to as the 6-year TIP. Per state law, the city is required to update the 6-year TIP annually and file a copy of the approved plan with the State Department of Transportation. There are a few quick projects that I would like to highlight. The first is Stewart Road Bridge replacement. Construction is currently underway and is expected to be completed in 2028. We have our Washington Street Preservation Project. Bids were opened at the end of March and is expected to begin in the coming months. And then we have our Maple Street pedestrian signal and citywide backplate projects. This project is currently suspended while we're procuring signal poles and signal equipment and is expected to be completed in fall of this year. This item was previously brought to council on March 9th at a study session and on April 6th for a public hearing. And with that, I will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Since a public, do you have a question?
I do.
You're not showing up here. You're already red.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Courtney. Hey, I think Jason may have asked you this, but I didn't have a chance to ask you directly. But I was curious. I was part of the pedestrian overpass and getting some grant funding for that. So I think that's Project T3, which is a trails project. And my question was just to make sure that we had in our TIP allowed for sidewalks and any other street improvements that needed to be part of of making sure that people have access whenever that gets built. It'd be kind of a shame to have the roads or the sidewalks not, kind of ready for that. Can you address that?
Yeah, so on the River Grove side where that's going to connect there is not existing pedestrian facility on the north side. And so with this project, there will be ADA curb ramps constructed to connect further into River Grove. And then that sidewalk network will be completed where there's missing gaps between the pedestrian bridge and the existing sidewalks.
Okay, perfect. So they'll be contiguous for people to get to the school and get back and ride bikes and stuff.
On both sides, but if I remember correctly, there are existing pedestrian facilities on the other side of 410, on the northern side of 410.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Since a public hearing has already occurred on this matter on April 6th, 2026, there will be no additional public comment taken this evening. So do we have any comments from the council? I see none. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Wilsey,
Yes.
Kenna,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Evers,
Yes.
Malcolm,
Yes.
Ranky,
Yes.
Elfers.
Yes.
Pass 7-0.
Thank you. Okay, so we will move on to public comment. Michelle, did anyone sign up for public comment?
Yes, Mayor, we do have 3 people who have signed up for public comment. The first being Mr. Randall Adams.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and read the rules for public comment. Do we have anyone on Zoom? Thank you. So the purpose of these meetings is to conduct the important business of the city, and that often means the city council is making difficult policy or budgetary decisions. With that said, I want to share a few rules and reminders that I will be enforcing to encourage respectful and orderly public comment. As a reminder, the public comment section of the meeting is a time for the council and myself to hear from members of the public on topics not on tonight's agenda. And while it may feel awkward, this is not a time for the council or myself to answer questions or engage in back and forth debate. At the conclusion of your comments, I may request that the appropriate staff member contact you for further discussion. So 1, please keep your comments relevant to city business and about matters over which the city council has control. 2, all council members and city staff deserve respect and dignity. Please refrain from disorderly or disruptive speech or conduct, personal attacks, name-calling, rude or offensive statements, obscenities, derogatory comments directed at individuals, and hate speech. If you do not comply with this rule, I will interrupt you with a reminder and then may choose to suspend you from continuing or have you removed from the meeting. 3, we have behavioral expectations. We will all model courtesy and respect. This includes those of us on the dais, and members of the public are expected to do the same. Audience members, to ensure every speaker feels comfortable speaking, please do not clap, boo, or speak while another person is addressing the council. Number 4, please speak into the microphone. Comments are broadcasted and recorded via the mic. If you leave the microphone, your comment time ends. So now that I've reviewed the rules that will apply, I invite the first speaker to the microphone. Please start your comments by stating your name and the city in which you reside for our records. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Mr. Adams.
Randall Adams, Sumner. Local cities and communities like Auburn, Covington, and Black Diamond, to name a few, have continued in the past few weeks going through a process of openly gaining more information regarding best sites. They are all previously passed moratoriums to give everyone involved the opportunity to research and gain greater knowledge about the best sites and what ramifications a site would have on their citizens, including how loud they are. They've included planning commissions, civic participation meetings, and are still working through their process and zoning thoughts before making a final decision. Yet in Sumner, we had none of that. No planning commission, no presentation in front of the whole city council to educate you on the pluses and minuses while considering if and when to issue a permit or to buy more time with a moratorium. Also, is the best site beneficial, or is it too much of a hazard sitting on top of our aquifer? Sumner citizens and nearby communities that are potentially in harm's way were not allowed to voice their opinions at all. If the best sites are so safe and as is being represented, then why doesn't PSC build these sites and own them as part of their own infrastructure? Maybe because they are a public-owned utility and the risk is too high for them. Best sites are sold as a way to store excess energy. Yet PSC already creates more electricity than is used in this state and sells the extra to other states. We are being put at risk so other states can benefit, not us. A best site does not bring power to you if a storm knocks down your power lines. You just don't have power. Also, at Seahawk games, they get very loud, as we all know, peaking at 130 decibels. Yet a best site is 120 decibels, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's like an airplane jet taking off. Thursday, we will have a LAHAR drill in the morning to try and educate those primarily in school what to do in case we have a LAHAR. What plans for evacuation or road closures has the city prepared as a part of your SEPA for the best site? Do you have a plan? If so, when are you going to unveil it to the public? Have you trained your officers when they need to block off or where they need to block off roads for commuters? Is it at the top and bottom of Forest Canyon, on East Valley Highway at Stewart Road, or up and down on Stewart Road? How are we going to give notices to the subdivision up by the PSC substation off Forest Canyon that we are considering annexing, and the thousands of people that live in apartments and homes in Lakeland Hills? How are we going to get a hold of these folks? I sent to you earlier today 2 different articles regarding a lithium battery pack that failed and caused a fire over at Ferrucci Junior High so bad that the environmental damage to that facility, they've shut down for the entire school year. And they don't know how much longer that it'll be beyond that.
Thank you. Your time is up. The next person who has signed up for public comment is Tricia Magra.
Hello, excuse my voice. I'm recovering from laryngitis. My name is Tricia Magra. I'm a resident of Sumner, and I also own and operate a licensed child care center just over here on Ryan Avenue. I'm here to discuss child care traffic impact fees. Currently, child care facilities are assigned traffic impact fees that are similar in cost to casinos. Casinos and daycares are at the top tier of fees based on the city's traffic fee chart. Child care does not function like most land uses. For example, a lot of families carpool, siblings are being dropped off together, families walking to and from preschool from our community, and there's train chaining, which families are already in sequence of linked trips made in continuous outings. So you may stop several places while you're dropping off your child. Drop-offs and pickups also happen in predictable windows, not continuous traffic throughout the day. Often families are assigned times to pick up so it doesn't create a surge of vehicles all at once. Another issue is that the city fees are based on building square footage, not by licensed childcare capacity. To determine how many kids can serve in based on DCYF, which is Department of Children, Youth, and Families, is based on usable space, which is different from how the city calculates use. For example, a 600 square foot new addition to our childcare would cost around $49,000 in traffic impact fees, but only 500 square feet will be usable licensed capacity space for 10 kids. We're also told that fees cannot be adjusted with an individual, or we were also told that fees cannot be adjusted without an individual traffic study. However, in practice, those studies consistently show the same results, which is childcare generates lower and more predictable traffic. Local data, including prior studies I've done in 2014 and most recently done by Faith Covenant Church Little Sprouts, already confirms this. Our cities have addressed this if other cities have addressed this more effectively, for example, in other cities, an automatic reduction is given to childcare facilities to better reflect actual conditions without requiring repeated costly studies. In closing, I may be here representing Sumner Valley Preschool, but I can confidently share that my fellow directors in child care operations in our community share the same concerns. I respectfully ask the council review my written statement that I submitted and consider how child care traffic fees are calculated. I I really appreciate your time, and I hope we can work something out for our community because I love serving kids. Thank you.
And the last person who has signed up is Tina Burnett.
Hi. Couple things. One, you keep predicting that Sumner is going to grow into our population increase. Well, we don't just need apartments for the increased population. We need childcare. So I think you need to take what Trish is saying very, very seriously, because if you start making it hard to grow childcare and daycare centers in this town, that's going to turn people away if they don't have a place to send their kids when they go off to work. So I support whatever you can do to help Trish and her fellow daycare providers. Secondly, later on in the agenda, you're going to appoint Nick Bierman to the Planning Commission. Great choice. Very smart, very dedicated, knows a lot about the city. So I am so happy that you're finally doing that and allowing us to participate in the city. And I think I've forgotten my third thing. I did. I spaced. That's why I should write things down. Okay, that's good enough. I support Tricia.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Oh, I know what it was. Just real briefly. You're changing the Design Commission to incorporate the Historical Preservation Commission. I think, I know Puyallup does that, so.
Tina,
Yeah.
come back up and talk when we talk about that, please.
Oh, you're going to give us public comment then?
You can make, yes,
Okay, great, thanks.
thank you.
There are no additional people who have signed up, Mayor.
All right, thank you. So with that, we'll move on to new business. Item A, mayoral appointment to the Planning Commission for Nick Bierman. Councilmember Hochstetter, would you like to make a motion? Got it. I'm trying. There we go. Got it.
Yes, I would like to make a motion for the mayoral appointment, Planning Commission of Mr. Nick Bierman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Elfers seconded that. It has been moved and seconded to approve the appointment of Mr. Bierman to the Planning Commission. So I call on Community and Economic Development Director Ryan Windisch.
Thank you, Mayor Bowman, members of the City Council. Tonight is confirmation for Nick Bierman, who's being appointed by the mayor to the Sumner Planning Commission. The Planning Commission serves in an advisory capacity to the City Council. The Commission's main purpose is to assist in the implementation of the vision and policies in the Sumner Comprehensive Plan, including reviewing and making recommendations on various city plans, goals, and policies, and the Sumner Code, Zoning Code, and development regulations. Mr. Bierman, as you all know, has been very active in the community and regularly attends city meetings and other community events. I think he's attended like almost every city council meeting in the last few years. He's attended every community development committee meeting that I attend. He's been very dedicated in that regard. Mr. Bierman will fulfill the remainder of the council, of Councilmember Malcolm's term, since he was appointed to council, with an expiration of April 2029. There you have it. That's
Thank
all I
you.
got.
Do we have any comments from the public? All right. Is there anyone on Zoom? Thank you. Any comments from the council? He went red.
I'm red.
My screen here is not allowing me to hit next on.
Mayor, he's on.
Thank you. Mr. Malcolm?
I'm on? Okay, great. Well, I would love to say congratulations to Nick, and I think the city's better off having him bring in some of those brains and that energy to the commission. So I'm really excited to see him, and I know I'm some big boots to fill, but I think you'll do a good job. So congratulations.
Thank you. Councilmember Ranky?
Yeah, I just want to say a quick word about Nick. I didn't know Nick until I got on the council about 2.5 years ago. And I think you've been at every meeting I've been at. So not to include all the committee meetings too. He zooms in on almost every single one that I've been on the last 2.5 years. He's dedicated. He puts the time in. He's knowledgeable of a lot of things in the city. And I see him all over town everywhere. So I'm going to support this appointment by Mayor Bowman of Nick Berman to the Planning Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead.
I'll second that. I just think that we appreciate when people come and comment, and sometimes it seems like we start out getting involved in city stuff because we're upset at something or we don't like how something's happening, and I think it's meaningful when someone decides to commit and to be active and to try to learn how to help the process. So easier to complain than it is to be a part of the solution. So Nick, I hope to hear you solving some problems on the Planning Commission. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Kenna?
Yes.
Elfers?
Yes.
Hochstetter?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Evers?
Yes.
Wilsey?
Yes.
Malcolm?
Yes.
Pass 7-0.
Thank you very much. Would Mr. Bierman like to say anything? My screen is just not working at all.
A couple weird blinks.
Is it good? All right. Okay, thank you. I'll just say a couple things here and keep it pretty short. Thank you for the opportunity to apply and interview for this position. I look forward to being able to serve in this capacity. And most of all, I think I look forward to the opportunity to be a part of the process going forward, be an active participant rather than just observing from the outside and just speaking at meetings and not necessarily being a part of the process. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Next, ordinance number 2961, repealing the Cultural Arts Commission, Sumner Municipal Code 2.86. Councilmember Evers, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, but first of all, I want to go on the record that I'm a big lover of the arts here in Sumner and worldwide. That being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2961, repealing the Cultural Arts Commission.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Elpers. So it has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2961, repealing the Cultural Arts Commission, Sumner Municipal Code, chapters 2.86 and 2.96. I'd like to call on Community and Economic Development Director Ryan Windisch.
Thank you, Mayor Bowman, members of the City Council. Ordinance number 2961, as we've heard, will repeal the Cultural Arts Commission from the Sumner Municipal Code. The Cultural Arts Commission has had a long history in Sumner. It was first established as the Arts Commission in 2000. In 2021, the purpose and responsibilities of the commission were broadened, and it was renamed as the Cultural Arts Commission. Over the last 26 years, the commission has assisted in holding the Music Off Main summer concerts, launched the Chalk Art Festival, held night markets, writing events, created murals, and wrapped utility boxes downtown with art. The commission was also responsible for art on the Sumner entrance sign that you see on Traffic Avenue and other pieces around town. And as much as the Cultural Arts Commission has done, we have unfortunately come to a point where the city needs to shift away from a formal commission. Over the last several years, the commission's membership has declined as fewer people have time in their busy schedules to commit to routine meetings and numerous events. The commission has consequently taken on less responsibility, with staff doing more of the work, and improved technology allows for more public engagement on cultural art programs and projects and public art around town. Formal advisory of artwork for parks and open spaces will shift to the existing Forestry and Parks Commission. We'll be talking about that at a subsequent ordinance. And the Forestry and Parks Commission does have some openings for volunteers. For specific art-related projects and programs, the city will not rely as much on a formal commission And instead, we'll create ad hoc committees for specific projects and have people participate in that way. And then technology, such as online surveys and outreach, can also be used for valued public input and ideas, which we've done recently on some parks projects when it came to choosing, for example, the color of the playground equipment. We were able to do an online survey. Conceivably, you can do an online survey even to pick bands for the concerts, or at least get an initial read. So there's some online activity that could happen as well. I can tell you that we appreciate those who have volunteered and served on the Sumner Cultural Arts Commission over the years, including some who were commissioners for over 20 years and became council members. We have current council members who've been on the Cultural Arts Commission, and we hope that they will help Sumner shift to this new way and encourage the community to be involved in arts and cultural celebrations in all their forms. I just want to say Sumner is not doing away with art. We're just shifting that focus to be in a different commission, as I said, I'll talk about later. This went to the Community Development Committee on the 25th of March and came out with a due pass recommendation. Happy to answer any other questions.
Questions? She's already got them turned on.
Thank you, Ryan. I just want to say that I appreciate the statement of the commitment to the arts, Sumner. Arts is not going away. And to just clarify, what I understand is that's going in with the parks, forestry and parks, still be a wing of it for art. And I do really like the idea of ad hoc committee and the public input through online. I think it's really important. Arts are very, very important to me. I had the opportunity to serve for, I think, 4 years. So I am going to vote in favor of combining this for efficiency, knowing that the arts are not going away and that Sumner's still committed to the arts. So thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead. Is everybody on Zoom? Okay. Any comments from the public here? All right. Oh, yes, Mr. Adams.
More of a glasses than
I know, I saw it.
Without repeating what was in the ordinance, I'm just going to go straight to comments, and that the city blames the lack of interest or commitment from the Cultural Arts Commission, yet it doesn't note that the commission was reduced from 13 down to 9 and wanted actually to squeeze it down to 7 until they were pushed back. Yet afterwards, longtime members have resigned as their input was consistently rejected and came to believe that they were no longer wanted. Why would you keep giving up your time for nothing? This reduction in members was orchestrated by the city to gain greater control over all the processes within. That was all. It was just to have greater control over that and not have the citizens be out there doing their own thing. And thank the people that were in the commissions for so many years.
Thank you. Any comments from the council? None. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Evers? Excuse me, Evers?
Yes.
Malcolm?
No. Yes. The mics.
The mics are not.
Mics are on now.
Okay,
Evers?
thank you.
Yes, please. Yes.
Malcolm?
Yes.
Woolsey?
Yes, but my mic is glitching. Yes.
Thank you. Elfers?
Yes.
Canna?
Yes.
Hochstadter?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Pass 7-0.
Thank you. All right, next we'll move on to item C, ordinance number 2962, Forestry and Parks Commission amendments, Sumner Municipal Code 2.87. Councilmember Wilsey, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion for ordinance number 2962, Forestry and Parks Commission amendments, Sumner Municipal Code 2.87.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can we get a second, please? Deputy Mayor Elfers.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Elfers. It has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2962, Forestry and Parks Commission Amendment, Sumner Municipal Code 2.87. Again, we'd like to call on Economic and Community Development Director Ryan Windisch.
Thank you, Mayor Bowman, members of the City Council. The ordinance before you tonight is 2962, and it would amend the Sumner Municipal Code and addresses changes to the duties and responsibilities and membership requirements of the city's Forestry and Parks Commission. The Forestry and Parks Commission is an advisory body to the staff and the City Council on programs, rules, plans, and activities related to the city's parks, trails, public trees, and open space. Forestry and Parks Commission's duties and responsibilities are being expanded to include cultural arts. This would include art installations, art programs such as concerts in the parks, sculptures, or other outdoor exhibits on city-owned properties and facilities. This item also went to the Community Development Committee on March 25th and came out with a do pass recommendation. Happy to answer any further questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Wilsey, do you have a question, or your mic's on?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just sitting here.
There you go. So, Councilmember Hochstetter, would you like to present an amendment?
I've got a quick question. Can I go?
Yes, you can. Councilmember Kenna.
All right, sorry, just a quick question before Councilmember Hochstetter. Ryan, can you address the members from the Cultural Arts Commission? And, those are kind of, we're losing those. We've got members on the Parks Commission now. We may have some vacancies as well. So what happens to the folks that we're serving? And then does the Forestry and Parks Commission grow in membership or stay the same? Or how is that going to all work out?
That's a great question. So we actually have a member of the Cultural Arts Commission who also serves as a member on the Forestry and Parks Commission. So we already kind of have that synergy there, that connection. And then we have had some interest, and more than interest, the mayor interviewed one of the Cultural Arts Commissioners who's interested in being on the Forestry and Parks Commission. Now it's up to the mayor if she wants to recommend appointment, but yeah, we're seeing that connection for sure.
So what will be the membership of the Forestry and Parks Commission again?
Forestry and Parks Commission is a maximum of 12 voting members.
Okay, and what are we at right now? Is that?
We're less than that.
We're less than that. Is it 9?
We're 10.
10,
We have
okay.
two open spaces.
Okay, so we have some spots, okay. Okay, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Councilmember Hochstetter.
Yeah, I would like to move to amend Section 1 of Ordinance Number 2962, Section 2.87.010, title to change the name of Forestry and Parks Commission, to Forestry, Parks, and Arts Commission to better reflect the new scope of the commission's work. If this amendment is adopted, I request that Code Publishing update all references to Forestry, Parks, and Arts Commission wherever it may appear throughout City Code.
Thank you. Is there a second? Deputy Mayor Elpers.
Second.
All right. With all this up here, it has been moved and seconded to amend the ordinance to include the arts added on the end. So, Councilmember Hochstetter, you've already spoken about your amendment.
I would like to say one last thing, if possible.
Sure.
I just think that, I think it's pretty clear, everyone who's probably listening understands that the commissions are being combined. It only makes sense, and the city understands, and I hope the council will understand, it only makes sense to have the name reflect that the arts are now with Parks and Forestry. So that's my ask with the amendment.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any comments on the amendment from the public? Mr. Bierman.
Just as a member of the public, let me thank Councilmember Hochstetter for putting forth this amendment to change the title, to change the name of the commission. I think retaining the name arts in any commission that has public members on it who are making decisions about things like performances and art that's displayed on public property, I think retaining the name arts is going to be important going forward so that the public understands that we're not losing a commission of public citizens. We're just transforming commissions into one instead of two. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Any comments from the council? All right. So will the clerk please call the roll?
On the amendment.
On the amendment, yes. As to whether to or not to approve Councilmember Hochstetter's amendment.
Elfers?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Malcolm?
Yes.
Evers?
Yes.
Hochstetter?
Yes.
Wilsey?
Yes.
Kenna?
Yes.
Passed unanimous 7-0.
Thank you. Now we will vote on ordinance 2962 as amended. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ranky?
Yes.
Kenna?
Yes.
Elfers?
Yes.
Malcolm?
Yes.
Wilsey?
Yes.
Evers?
Yes.
Hochstetter?
Yes.
Passed unanimous 7-0.
Thank you. On to item D, ordinance number 2963, Historic Preservation Commission Amendments, Sumner Municipal Code 2.95. Councilmember Kenna, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, let me get there, Mayor. Yes, I would like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2963, Historic Preservation Commission Amendments, Sumner Municipal Code 2.95.
Can we get a second? Councilmember Evers.
Second.
Thank you. Seconded by Councilmember Evers. So it has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2963, Historic Preservation Commission Amendment, Sumner Municipal Code 2.95. I'd like to call on Community and Economic Developer Director Ryan Windisch.
Thank you, Mayor Bowman. City Council, ordinance number 2963 would amend the Sumner Municipal Code, and it will designate the city's design commission as the Historic Preservation Commission. And this change provides needed efficiencies involving managing numerous city commissions as it relates to staff time, volunteer recruitment, and overall support of the commissions. And I think the mayor can appreciate, because she interviews all the folks who get on the commission, kind of how much time it does take to maintain and keep up the commissions. In 2008, the City of Sumner established a Historic Preservation Commission, and in 2011, appointed the first 5 members to the commission to provide a means to review requested designations and provide oversight and pre-authorization related to property owner improvements of historic properties. So there was a commission in place in 2011. The terms for all 5 original members of the Historic Preservation Commission have expired, leaving the commission membership currently vacant. And even during their terms, the Historic Preservation Commission was never requested to review an application for the Sumner Historic Register. In the interest of efficiency and in acknowledgement of the fact that the qualifications for membership on the Historic Preservation Commission and the Design Commission are very similar, being that the members have to be practicing professionals within the fields of architecture, planning, civil engineering, landscape architecture, and development. Staff is recommending to designate the Design Commission to also serve as the Historic Preservation Commission, and that's what is entailed in the ordinance. So the item went before the Community Development Committee March 25th with a do pass recommendation. So happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and go down the agenda appropriately, and you will have an opportunity on the council here to ask questions at that time. Do we have any comments from the public? Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams.
Oh, Adam. He's pointing at me.
You asked for it. As we just heard, the commission appointed 5 folks in 2011, then they let their time lapse and never refilled those positions. Then it states that the HPC commissioners were never requested to review an application for the Sumner Historical Registry. I guess that's like the council never being asked to review a best site application. If you've never asked, you can never know and answer an unknown question, now can you? The whole reason this is being brought up is because the HPC was supposed to be in existence and to be there to consider items like the Ryan House actually being a historical significance in the city of Sumner. Instead, we spent $185,000 in attorney's fees to not have an independent opinion about the Ryan House being historical here in Sumner, to the Sumner community, because that might have caused it to be saved instead of demolished as the city desired.
Thank you. Ms. Burnett?
As I was saying earlier, I know that Puyallup combines the Design Commission and the Historic Preservation Commission, and that works kind of. I've had talks with people in historic preservation in Puyallup about this. It works, but you need to, the Design Commission is made up of people whose mindset is tear down and build new. And I think to make this work, you need to expand. I consider expanding the Design Commission and changing the name, as Mr. Hochstetter did, so that it does include historic preservation. I didn't notice whether that was included, but you need to get people who are interested in historic preservation on the Design Commission. So you need to expand who's allowed to be on it. I think it would be great if not on the commission, certainly seek the advice and work with the Washington State Historic Preservation Group. I mean, they can certainly tell you what's involved in historic preservation. And I think you can do much more than just do a Sumner Historic Register. I mean, that's not doing much. I think I like the ideas of creating an inventory of the historic properties, both government-owned, which probably aren't any left, and private property. I work as an archivist at Meeker Mansion, and for the last more than a year, all I have done is Sumner history, archiving Sumner history. I have learned so much about all the buildings, the old stores. I love it. I'm not saying put me on the commission. I'm saying you really need to get some more input, expand the members that are allowed on the Design Commission, Design and Historic Preservation Commission. And I think that's one way to kind of earn back the trust of people and create something real, not just, it's part of our bailiwick, but we're not going to do anything. So I really appreciate if that's something you would consider in the very near future. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bierman.
Nick Bierman, Sumner, Washington. From the standpoint of a citizen who is deeply interested in historic preservation and concerned about the character and small-town charm that we have here in Sumner, I think I would feel good about the Design Commission handling Historic Preservation Commission tasks and responsibilities if there was some sort of a direct statement in the Design Commission requirements to be a commissioner that you have some experience in history or historic preservation or a desire to work with groups like the Washington State Historical Society or the Washington Trust for Historic Preservation. There are definitely groups out there that have expertise, and we learned that for sure over the last couple of years. I think maybe even to the point of appointing one particular member of the Design Commission to be in charge of reviewing, or at least be appointed for the purpose of reviewing for historic buildings and historic nominations. I think that would be a wise choice for the Design Commission. So I think there's room for discussion about how exactly to go about making this change, and I think there's a lot of good things that could come of this. So I hope we go in that direction. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Any comments from the council? Deputy Mayor Elfers.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm in support of this change. I think it really does show, since it was started in 2008 and we haven't used it, that it needs some work. I do feel like the last couple of years we've talked a lot about history and preserving it, and yet we have there's a lot of talk about solving this with the public. We talked about the Ryan House, I guess, so there's about putting the public house in there, and we went over the cost and the difficulties of public ownership of historic property, and it was much more difficult than having a private ownership. So again, I'm supportive of making some adjustments to the design commission, maybe with the name or a couple things like that. So those are good suggestions. And I also, it'd be nice to get some of the folks who talk about history a lot to find a house that somebody wants to be on this preservation list. So
Thank you. Councilmember Kenna.
Thank you, Mayor. Ryan, could I get you back up for a question or two? Thank you. Was just going to ask, understand the suggestion about adding historic preservation to the title of the commission, and that would need to be an amendment similar to Councilmember Hochstetter. In terms of the actual content of the ordinance and this changeover, is historic preservation, is that woven in throughout the what would be the new commission, the design commission, in terms of the responsibilities, the expectations, the experience of individuals serving?
First of all, the Historic Preservation Commission chapter remains. In the ordinance, it just directs the membership to the Design Commission. So all the duties and responsibilities of the Historic Preservation Commission remain intact in this chapter. It's just the Design Commission. So if somebody applied to be on the local register with their property, and they came in and made a case for it, and they filled out the application and came before, it would be the Design Commission that they would be standing in front of, and not a different Historic Preservation Commission. And it takes owner consent, just as a matter of fact, in the ordinance, to actually commit your property to being registered. And the responsibilities, as I said, would be the same. The commission, the Design Commission, architects, engineers, are they historians? Is that a requirement? No, not necessarily. So there are, we're not asking for them to have a degree in architectural history, but if you're an architect, you probably have done some work on historic buildings and downtowns and whatnot. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the Design Commission professional credentials may not line up with, a history professor, for example, or a historian specifically, but in terms of their understanding of kind of the broad range of things, that's what we're talking about, them being able to do.
Yeah, follow up to that, Ryan, just in terms of the comment made by Ms. Burnett about design commissioners being more experienced in, tearing down and building up new and things like that. Can you speak to the experience of our commissioners or past commissioners in terms of what they're reviewing? Is it more new development and or is it looking at our current structure, our current format, and kind of maintaining and preserving? How would you characterize that?
Most of what the Design Commission looks at is new construction, with an eye for how does that new construction fit into the small town character of Sumner, given our design standards and architectural treatments and materials, and how does it address the street. So they look at lots of different aspects of the development to try to preserve and promote what Sumner already is known for and has. If a project is less than, I think it's 4,000 square feet, the Design Commission is not going to see it. But in this case, again, the Design Commission is becoming the Historic Preservation Commission. So if there is an application, there is a nomination for a property, then we would convene the Design Commission as the Historic Preservation Commission, and they would review it.
Gotcha. Thank you. And maybe one more, Mayor, very quickly, would just be, would it be fair to say that actually historic preservation as a subject matter might actually be talked about and discussed, interviewed more often now than it was in its previous form because the Historic Preservation Commission wasn't convened, wasn't meeting, wasn't used?
I don't know what it's going to be in the future, but if you choose as a property owner to commit your property to a register, a historic register, through the process, then any alterations you want to make beyond just normal maintenance and repair, which is pretty minimal, you have to come back in front of the Historic Preservation Commission and get approval and get what's called a certificate of appropriateness for whatever changes you want to make. And so, I've personally known council members who had historic properties and properties on register. They didn't come in and apply because as property owners, they didn't want to be restricted. Now, there can be some tax benefits if it's on the historic register around some of those improvements, but again, we've been in place since 2008. Nobody's applied. I don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Thank you.
Councilmember Malcolm?
Thank you, Ryan. This has been well covered by folks up here today, but I just wanted to emphasize that as we recruit commissioners for this, that we do look with an eye towards people with preservation background. And I think we should expand what we're looking at and how we're thinking about that for that. And I'm also not opposed to the idea of including that in the naming of the commission at some point, probably not tonight, but I think both those things would do the due diligence we need to make sure that's emphasized correctly going forward. That's just my only comments.
Thank you. All right. Anything else? Yes.
Mayor, I just want to make sure that one point is abundantly clear tonight. The Historic Preservation Commission is not going away. All that's happening is that the same individuals that serve on the Design Commission will also serve on the Historic Preservation Commission. So there's been some discussion about changing the name. That's not necessary because it's not being merged. It's not going away. It's just that these commissioners will serve both roles.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Elfers,
Yes.
Malcolm,
Yes.
Ranky,
Yes.
Wilsey,
Yes.
Evers,
Yes.
Hochstetter,
Yes.
Kenna,
Yes.
pass 7-0.
Thank you. Item E, ordinance number 2965-2026, compensation schedule amendment. Councilmember Ranky, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I'd make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2965, 2026 compensation schedule amendment.
Thank you. Can we get a second?
Second.
Boy, that was Councilmember Evers. Thank you. It has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2965-2026 compensation schedule amendment. I call on Deputy City Administrator Jeff Steffens.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The previously approved labor agreement with the Teamsters Union called for the creation of a new promotional lead position within the Public Operations Department. That promotion process has now been completed, and the final step is to amend the 2026 compensation schedule to adopt the position's salary. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from the public? Mr. Adams.
Guess you can note at 7:03, this happened. I have learned that there were a three-person citizen board that contributed to the decisions regarding the pay raises for executive positions in this city. I thought it was disclosed differently by staff and that it was addressed when it was addressed directly to you. I have been wrong in stating that staff created their own study and presented it to council. Instead, there were a number of meetings where the raises were addressed with the citizen board and council committee. I owe apology to both the council and to the staff for the inaccurate statements that I have been making. That was not intentional. While I certainly do not agree with city of Sumner being 1/4 of the size of Puyallup, having much lower income revenue and far fewer employees, we still pay our staff more than Puyallup does. It was the thought that senior employees set their own wages that I was most against, and then on that thought, I was wrong. I publicly state that this apology, especially to the executive staff of the city of Sumner.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Anyone on Zoom? Thank you. Any comments from the council? Okay, will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move on to reports. So we'll start with the council. Councilmember Wilsey.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to say congratulations to Nick Bierman for your appointment. And thank you to the community, just, for being an awesome community. I want to just encourage everybody to remember to shop local. We're here to, bless and protect our community, and that includes our small businesses. Anywhere within, our boundaries, we gotta rock our small businesses. We've got a lot of them, and they're not just on Main Street, they're all over. So, we want to be supportive of all of them. I also want to remind everybody, we've got some downtown events coming up. Sidewalk sales, May 16th. Rhubarb Days is off and rockin'. We've got June 20th and 21st. And then we've got the Music Off Main going on. We're back at Heritage Park this year. And so super excited about the music going on. And then we've got the Chalk Art Festival at Loyalty this year as well. That's Fridays in July and then in August. So just encourage everybody, shop local. We got some awesome businesses and we need to support those guys. And then don't forget to schedule downtown for your summer events. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kenna.
Thank you, Mayor. A few items here. Just want to also congratulate Mr. Bierman on joining the Planning Commission. Think you'll add a lot there, and look forward to hearing from you and your opinions from the Planning Commission. Also wanted to congratulate our pending incoming Chief of Police, Andy McCurdy. Really excited to be able to promote somebody from within, and as Councilmember Wilsey was talking about, keeping things here in Sumner and supporting those. We've got somebody great already here that's going to be elevated to that position. So congrats to Andy there. I'm going to report out on the Finance Committee. I sat in on this one as our chair, Deputy Mayor Elfers, was out. So a couple of these things we did already chat about, the collective bargaining agreement with the Teamsters Union. So I feel like we covered that one. We'll just say there's something I learned quite a bit about while at our Finance Committee here is our central well and the filter that we have out there. This carbon filter that keeps our water fresh and clean and everything, and it's coming to the end of its useful life. And it's something that staff I know has been aware of for a little while, and they've been looking to address it. And we have one provider of these filters that we can go to, and really nobody else can provide this filter to us. Well, as we've been looking at this and eyeing this, the price just keeps going up and up and up. And at this point in time, we have to kind of we have to strike on it because it's at the end of its useful life anyway, and we got to kind of lock in this price. So I just find that interesting. I think when folks in the public think of the costs of some of our infrastructure projects and the things that a city has to do to keep everything running around here, it's just an example of kind of the way things are and just how expensive things continue to get. And our revenues are not keeping up with the pace of those projects. So just found that one interesting. I'll also add on the consent agenda tonight was approving Councilmember Malcolm on the Finance Committee taking my place. I think he's going to do great there. He's got a great background and experience in finance and budgeting from a lot of big places too. So I think he's going to be a good person there. No hard feelings to anybody on the Finance Committee. I love those folks. I found it very interesting. It's just, it was more finding a place for Mark to land that fit him. So it works out on both sides of it. We'll also note that the Public Works Committee is tomorrow. So you can join that at 4 o'clock. And we do have a joint meeting with the City of Bonnie Lake to address the wastewater treatment facility during that meeting as well. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Councilmember Malcolm.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks to Councilmember Kenna for vacating that spot for me. It's duly appreciated. I'm going to have fun on that committee, so looking forward to it. And also, just in the spirit of what Councilmember Wilsey was talking about, I love to spend locally. I think last year I committed to spending my Christmas budget as locally as much as possible. And I'm looking so forward to a tradition we have that starts in May every year, which we call Milkshake Wednesdays. That means when it gets warmer, we get to walk down and buy a milkshake. So there's another opportunity to spend locally. So I'm excited about that. Coming up this week, I've got 3 different kind of meetings that are investigatory for me. They're things that are new to me, but there's the Government Affairs Council hosted by the Puyallup and Sumner Chambers of Commerce that's starting tomorrow morning, and I go hopefully get some insight from them. There's also a Sumner Main Street Association Economic Vitality Committee that I'll sit in, hopefully learn some new things there. And on this Thursday, I'm attending the Puyallup 2026 Housing Summit, which is hosted by the Master Builders Association. Again, just opportunities to learn more about what's going on locally and regionally, and hopefully learning some things there. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations, Nick. I'm very excited for you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Elfers.
Yeah, I don't have too much. Councilmember Kenna did report on the Finance Committee, so I've been busy with a couple things. I wanted to point out the Community Summit is next Tuesday, the 28th, at Calvary Community Church, and I hope to see a lot of people in the community there. So it's always an event where you get to kind of connect with people and hear what's going on, and usually there's a good speaker, so I don't recall who the speaker is this year. But okay, secondly, I appreciate Tisha Magra coming today. Thank you for that. I just wanted to kind of point out that we did spend a little bit of time, I think, in the last year and a half. We looked at preschools and when the Matron Faith Covenant and a couple different things. There was some big issues with the traffic impact fees, and so we looked at a couple options. There were some problems. Every once in a while you look at a rule to fix a problem and it creates more problems. And so we ended up kind of getting stuck on that with the traffic impact fees, and we were able to, in our budget for the utilities, come up with a grant program for small businesses related to the utility or the certain types of impact fees, not traffic. And then I think this year we're going to do our budget. We're doing our budget study. So I'm hoping to be able to include some kind of, I would love to at least talk about as a council, some ways to help preschools. We know that's a problem. We looked at some solutions and there wasn't an easy solution there. And so it needs to be revisited. So thank you for bringing that up. It's helpful. And then I'm assuming we'll look at other cities and what they've done as well. But sometimes there are solutions that create more problems, and so we don't necessarily copy other cities. But so thank you for sharing that, and we do want to see preschools do well in our community. So thirdly, I want to congratulations to Andy McCurdy. We're excited to have somebody who we know already who can fill Brad's shoes. So thank you for that. And then fourth, it's interesting if you look at the future. One of the things we're seeing is costs are going up everywhere. Peterson Energy, if you look at their fee schedule, I think their rates are expected to go up 17% in the next year. I think it's a pretty big deal. I've never been a huge fan of solar. I've had a couple people out to my house in the last couple months looking at solar panels just because there's some opportunities there to make that work. And so there's some good programs. Again, with the cost of electricity and utilities and everything continuing to go up, mostly because of the Climate Commitment Act. It does incentivize things like solar, which I don't think are very efficient. But in Washington, maybe they're cheaper than the alternative. And also anyways, we talked about battery energy storage systems a little bit. So there's some things that are being pushed at us that are kind of affecting some of my decisions. But really enjoyed the weather outside. I've enjoyed being outside. One of the restaurants that I discovered that was next to Fred Meyer that I would just really, it was on, their sign was up for years, and we had a friend who, my high schooler was friends with the Hispanic gentleman, and he said that the best authentic Mexican food he has had in this area was at Pura Brasa. So I just shop local, eat local. I hope you don't go there too much because I don't want to have to wait in line. But I do really enjoy their food, and they apparently they have some good food. So there's lots of other places, but I just want to give a shout out to them, and that's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Evers, which, by the way, that's his favorite place. So I think you two talked. But anyway, go ahead.
I don't remember talking about that, and that's one of our favorite restaurants. And now I guess
Uh-oh.
People, is not a lot of seating in there though. So, yeah, I guess it is very good. I can't tell a lie. So anyway, I guess this week I'm just excited. I see a couple Rotarians in this room, but we have our 100-year anniversary celebration tomorrow. And Rotary maybe doesn't do the best of, shouting what we do, but we do a lot of cool things in the community. I'm hosting, it's called Honors Night next month, which we celebrate the top students at Bonnie Lake and Sumner High School. And that's a lot of fun. And what else we got going? But we hand out dictionaries every year to every third grader in the Sumner School District. And obviously Bill Heath Park was a big project back a little bit before I joined. So anyway, it's a good organization that does a lot of good in the community. So I'm looking forward to celebrating 100 years tomorrow. I haven't been on it for 100 years, but I think 29 years. So, but anyway, shout out to Rotary.
Thank you. Councilmember Ranky.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll report on a few things. First of all, thank you, Nick, for putting in, and congratulations. Looking forward to hearing from you. Last week, Tuesday, was open house here. I don't know if some of you were here. Had in this room and the one across the way in the foyer. A lot of city staff here reported on the projects, updates, really informational. The library was here, WashDOT was here, Sound Transfer was here, Downtown Association was here, so it was good to see everybody. The weather wasn't that great, so the turnout wasn't as much as I'd like to see, but it was very informative and had a good time. Wednesday was public safety last week, and didn't do a lot on I had the fire report from Chief Parkinson, and then police report from newly promoted, going to be Chief McCurdy was there running it now, so him taking over from Brad. And on that side note too, there'll be a promotional ceremony. I don't know if the city manager will talk about it later, but on the 27th here as the deputy chief moves up and then somebody's moving up to his spot and then everybody's moving up. So there's going to be some promotions and a ceremony on the 27th, I believe at 4:30. And the rest of the time, we really did have 6 items for public works on the public safety committee. We had to get them, they're all on the consent agenda tonight. So that took up a lot of the time there. Our next meeting was the next night. Thursday was Pierce County Regional Council. And this month we had 2 guest speakers. One was Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank spoke, and Pierce County Executive Ryan Mello. So it was very interesting. Listening to the sheriff, and the crime rates are pretty much down in Pierce County, unincorporated county. The big issue they're having right now is staffing. They're down 37 deputies and 40 jailers. So anybody out there wants to be a Pierce County sheriff or a jailer, look up Pierce County. Ryan Mello, the county exec, reported on the justice fund they started January 1/10 of 1%, which is going to help with that. It's going to hire deputies, jailers, help with the courts, legal services, equipment, and technology. He's got an executive priority in 26 to expedite permit process for economic development in the county. Reported on the unified regional approach to homelessness, which is kind of everybody in Pierce County getting together and trying to tackle this problem with homelessness in the county. And then he gave a report on the World Cup coming up in June. It's going to start June 11th to July 19th. There'll be events going on all over the county from Tacoma up to Seattle. They have a website you can get on. There's a fan zone that's going to be at the Emerald Queen there. The Puyallup Tribe of Indians is sponsoring it. There'll be a lot of activities free for everybody. So if you want to get on the FIFA website, all that stuff will be on there. And I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hochstetter.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to thank Tricia for her comments. I have a 6-year-old who went through Little Sprouts, and I know they've upgraded their facility, and I have a 3-year-old that's about to start preschool, and so I just want you to know I heard everything you had to say, and I appreciate how you're serving our community, because that childcare, I can tell you where I am in my life, it's expensive, it can be hard to find, especially good people that are running it locally in a neighborhood like you are. So thank you for your comments. Cultural Arts Commission, I just want to thank two commissioners that come to mind that served. They could have been on the 2000 commission in the first year of it. It was Donna Harkey and Sue Larson. They're kind of unsung heroes, didn't get paid anything, volunteered, loved the arts, loved their community even more, and served and found a way to serve through the arts. And everyone probably knows here that art is very near and dear to my heart. I play in a band. I served on the Arts Commission. And to hear the city's commitment to the arts are not going away. It's a big part of our town. We look at our murals. We look at the color and the vibrancy that it adds. It's good to hear that the arts they're here to stay here in Sumner. Last, I want to say thank you to Andy and congratulations to Andy Chief McCurdy. Culture is so important in a workplace, on a team, in a police department, and it always comes from the leadership. And so to have a good leader like Andy step into the shoes and lead our police department as a resident makes me feel really good to know we've got a good leader and a good culture with our police department. So congratulations, Chief. Thank you.
Thank you. City Administrator Jason Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You've hit a lot of the topics I'm going to talk about tonight, but I'll throw on some extra stuff. First off, I don't know if the public knows or even all the council members know, but when Councilmember Hochstetter was on the Arts Commission, he just did a phenomenal job. And if you look at the murals that were updated, mostly during the pandemic, that's this guy right here. That was his hard work. So kudos to him, and I appreciate and I enjoyed working with you on those projects. Coming up next week at the study session, you have 3 items. First is an update on the debt that was issued for the Biosolids Modernization Project. We sold those bonds a couple weeks ago and just closed on them last week. So we'll be presenting the terms of that debt issuance. Then the YMCA will be here to provide an update on their annual things that they're working on, and we'll also be discussing an amendment to their 2013 services agreement. And then we're going to end the night with a review of battery energy storage systems, kind of where we are to date. Obviously, we've been working with BESS for several years now, and we're getting ready. The Planning Commission will be starting on BESS 2.0 here in May. The May 4th regular council meeting and the May 11th study session are both canceled. And in lieu of those, we will be holding our council retreat. So it's a 2-day retreat, both on Mondays from 1 to 7 p.m., focusing on strategic planning as well as kicking off the 27-28 budget process. So our next regular council meeting will be on Monday, May 18th. I'm also here to let you know that Memorial Day is at the end of the month in May, and the mayor today canceled the Tuesday meeting that week. So no meeting the week of Memorial Day. So that's news for the staff too. So they're excited. On the personnel front, as many of you alluded, tonight we appointed, or you approved the mayoral appointment of Andy McCurdy to Chief of Police. You all had some wonderful, nice things to say about Andy, but the public may not know who Andy is. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about him real quick. I'm going to save most of my comments for Monday, but Andy has over 30 years in law enforcement. He served as Sumner's Deputy Chief of Police since August 2021. Prior to that, he had a long career with King County Sheriff's Office, as well as a couple other agencies. He has extensive experience in criminal investigations, police administration, and employee wellness. He is a proven leader that is respected both internally and externally by our partners and our community. We're very fortunate to have him here, and I think he's the right person to take the lead into the next chapter of our police department. As you mentioned, culture is so important. He understands that. He is building a great culture. He's continuing where Brad left off and continuing to take our police department to the next level. And making sure that we are here to serve our community as their roles and responsibilities continuing to evolve and change. So with the promotion of Andy, he was the deputy chief. We went through some other promotional processes, and I'm pleased to tell you that Lauren Houselog is being promoted to deputy chief. Lauren is the most senior employee in the city of Sumner. Been here for 30 years. Served in the Army and then became a police officer, and he's been here ever since. Justin Gregson is being promoted to lieutenant and Jeff Boone to sergeant. All 3 of these promotions are well-deserved, and each is uniquely qualified for their new positions. As I mentioned, these promotions mark a historic milestone for our department. All 4 employees will be promoted and celebrated next Monday, as Councilmember Enke said, at 4:30 here in the chambers, and the council and the public are invited to attend. probably wondering, what about Brad? Brad, yeah, Chief Marecki. Okay. Brad is retiring. His last day will be at the end of May. During the month of May, Andy will be the police chief. Brad will be working on some transition things as he, unwinds his 25-year career here with the city of Sumner. We will be celebrating Brad at a public open house on May 27th, and more information will be distributed when we get closer. Also this week, we are doing the Lahar drill. That's going to take place Thursday morning, and that's a regional Lahar evacuation exercise. Last time we did this, I believe it was the largest Lahar evacuation in the world. You might be saying, well, where's other Lahars? They do happen other places, but we are definitely one of the biggest Lahar zones in the world. So not only will we be participating in that, but the cities of Orting and Puyallup will be evacuating their schools in conjunction with this. So in Sumner, all of our schools will practice their evacuation routes. They'll be leaving in the morning at staggered times and marching all the way down to the east side of town. This is obviously going to affect traffic, particularly on the main routes, so like Main Street, Valley Avenue, and 160th. So if you're out driving around, please allow extra time, be creative in your routes, and respect the traffic controlled devices as well as the employees that are out there trying to keep the children safe. If you want to know more about Lahars, at the Community Summit next week on the 28th, USGS will be hosting a breakout session talking all about Lahars and why they occur and how to keep yourself safe. It's not too late to register for that Community Summit. You can find a link on the school district's page or our website. And on top of the USGS session, the city will also be doing a breakout session. Happy to answer any questions. Excellent.
Looks like you're good.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll wrap up these reports. First thing I'd like to echo is Councilmember Ranke's comments about the open house. So a lot of people from the city staff and other entities here in town put a lot of time and effort into these open house events. And it was nice to see that we did have some people attend, but in my opinion, not enough people attended. So we really need to get out there and encourage the public to get into these open houses. And I would invite the council members that couldn't make it to come in and attend the open house. There's a lot of learning that goes on there. Then the next thing is, I too would say congratulations to Mr. Bierman. You had a great interview, and I think that you'll do a fine job for us. So I'm glad that you applied. And then I know next week is a big deal, and we're really not supposed to use our phones up here, but this is where my notes are at. So Chief McCurdy, he and I were talking one day, and he said he worked for King County Police. And a lot of people don't know this, but I do come from a long family of police officers. So I said, my cousin worked for King County Police. So I sent my cousin Bob a messenger. He lives in Chelan now, and I said, hey, do you know Andy McCurdy? I mean, is he any good at anything? And he said, well, yes, I know him very well, and I give him an A+ on character, and an A+ on police knowledge, and an A+ on work ethics, and an A+ on leadership. I thought, how could we not choose him? He gets an A+. I mean, he's a stellar guy, but congratulations. We look forward to actually swearing you in next week. It's going to be a good event. Then, just to remind everybody, Traffic Avenue on-ramp will be closed during the day for the next 2 days. They're going to fill some potholes on the ramp, and those are some big potholes. I don't know about you, but that's a tough ramp to navigate on. So remember to use the Valley Avenue on-ramp onto 410. And then my next Coffee with Carla is this Friday at noon at Van Leeuwenhoek Garden Market. There's no agenda. Some people in here actually come and have attended, and so just put the word out there. Just stop by and say hello, but really it's for people to come in and ask questions and talk about things that may be of interest to them or concerns. So I look forward to doing that this Friday at noon. And then I'm going to talk about Parks and Arbor Day. So did you know that we have an estimated 4,500 trees in our urban forest? And they're in our parks and public spaces and including along our streets. So on Saturday, our staff and volunteers from the Forestry and Parks Commission came out to plant more along Willow Street and Cherry Avenue, as Derek Berry stated earlier. Beyond their undeniable beauty, street trees act as a natural multi-tool for urban living. So they can lower local temperatures by up to 10 degrees, reduce stormwater runoff by catching rain on their leaves, and even increase property values by as much as 15 to 25%. So by absorbing carbon dioxide and filtering air pollutants, these green walls create a literal breather for pedestrians and residents. I personally, my backyard, I do have a fence, but then I have a green fence of hedge and trees, which works out really well. Keeps it nice and cool back there and very private. So I'd like to thank our staff, Derek Berry, Dan Gates, Jerry Martinez, Todd Baginski, Tammy Murphy, did I get that right? Okay, good. Tristan Canty and Noah Eller, and our commissioners, John Gammon, Nicholas Johnson, Teresa Hossie, her son Teddy, and Jean McCall. So we just want to thank those folks. They did a great job. That's a lot of trees getting planted there. So we need to really appreciate what they bring into the city. So with that, there's no executive session tonight. So with no further business before the council, this meeting is adjourned at 7:31 p.m.